Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, everybody.
So, before we get going with some of the news, guys, and this is going to be a relatively quick one for us. Hopefully, we'll come back and be able to get another one in later on today. But we do want to thank again our Patreons for your support. We couldn't do it in this world of demonization without your support there, and also at Ko-Fi. Everybody that has checked out Medicinal Foods, great people, great articles too. Most definitely you could find stuff that's going to boost your immune system, which is deeply needed, as well as detoxing. So like yesterday I did about a 22-hour fast, I guess, something like that. I like to do that. I find that easy. And, the fasting is accumulative, so it helps to purge from the body things that you want to get out of the body. As we know, it's a toxic world. And do check out evolutionaryenergyarts.com and learn more about us. So here we see some flooding. This is in Hamburg, Germany. And wait till you see this ride. This is the Elbe ferry in Hamburg this morning. I've been through quite a few rides, nothing like this. For one, it looks like the boat just went sideways.
Yeah, how'd that happen? But this is scary stuff.
Oh, that looks large out there.
Uh-huh. Oh!
Wow, and that water's got to be cold. It's got to be frigid.
I know. I think my skin has goosebumps just watching.
I know, it's just, whew. And, that made me feel like we're in the Titanic and she's going down.
Right.
But, yeah, that was definitely a scary moment for people.
Definitely.
Well, I once was going as a kid over to Martha's Vineyard, and we had quite a ride there. And I never will forget that ride because I just remember thinking how silly it was that they left all the chairs and loungers out and they all got swept away because the waves were so strong. And this is what it looks like on the outside as you see the little boat, well, relatively little, chugging along. And I'm guessing that might have been the waves that did it. I don't know. This is on a river. Huh. It's like, wow. These times that we're in, pretty crazy. So checking out this week, as far as the volcanic activity, there was ongoing activity at 22 volcanoes, and you could add 4 more to it. Again, tendency is going to be towards getting colder. And, the tendency is also going to be towards emptier shelves.
Yeah, and that's something that, we've been talking about it for a long time, and it's really starting to show itself in many different ways now.
Most definitely. I like to make dog food from scratch, but we do also have some dry dog food that we use that's non-GMO, and we ordered some just like a few days ago, and they sent half of what I ordered. The other half is supposed to be showing up. I hope it does. I've noticed some shortages and things lagging, and it says, oh, we're experiencing problems with your order. Mm-hmm. But again, we should be prepared for at least 6 months, and honestly, I would be shooting towards 3 years. That's just me. I'm looking at that 2025-ish area and thinking, okay, we're going to have quite a ride till that point, and then I'm just hoping that it's going to get a lot better after that, although it'll probably be a slow go.
Well, again, we want to keep focusing on what is positive from this, and that's that we're probably going to get to know our neighbors. We're going to understand ourselves a lot more. We're going to know what it means to really, knows my throat chakra goes. We're going to understand what it means to really connect with people again, because look how disconnected we are. Everybody's on their phone all the time, facing the phone, and we're not really working with one another. And I think that's hindering our empathic abilities too.
Yes, and in one of our family members that we talk to on a regular basis, every couple weeks, is a police officer in a major city. And he was saying that he's noticed there's a lot more accidents out there.
Yeah.
And a definite uptick in accidents, and people just seeming a little bit more kind of out of it. And here we were talking about the avian flu, the bird flu. So poultry show canceled after state suspends all poultry sales and exhibitions. Less than 48 hours before the start of the Chattahoochee Valley Poultry Association's poultry show and swap meet at the Coweta County Fairgrounds, this is in Georgia, by the way, state has halted any sale of poultry as well as poultry shows and exhibitions because of an outbreak of bird flu. Yes. Yep, not kidding you. In a release, the department suspends all exhibition shows, sales, swaps, and meets pertaining to poultry and feathered fowl in the state of Georgia until further notice. You know, one of the things I know with so many people that are trying to homestead is, you get your berry bushes up, you get your fruits and vegetables going, and maybe you have some chickens for some eggs. And, again, there's a lot to be prepared for with what we see coming down, and everything is coming down pretty much as expected.
Right. And if you have a rooster and you have your own chickens, our dear friend Nicole, she's very good about picking out her own eggs, and she puts them in an incubator and they hatch. And has a really good eye. She looks for the strongest shells, so she's very self-going. She understands a lot about this, and I'm really proud of her. But that's something that we can do, is just keep our own chickens going if we have them. We have options.
Yeah, except for, if they come knocking at your door.
Yeah.
Because I've seen comments too, where it's like, they're asking people to do the responsible thing and stuff. Now, there's been no cases of this in commercial or domestic poultry in the state of Georgia, the agency wrote in the news release. But you got to wonder too. I mean, we've seen so many birds just dropping out of the sky in so many different places. And then, of course, there's so many different frequencies out there. So there's a thing with the cartels in Michoacan in Mexico controlling the avocado market. It's more, perhaps even more lucrative than the DRUG market. Avocados. I personally love avocados. They're one thing I would really hate to not have anymore. And they're good, healthy fats and lots of roughage.
Yes. Good word.
Well, the U.S. avocado import ban from Mexico sparks fears of nationwide shortage. Yeah, because most of ours do come from Mexico when you get down to it. And this is, it's just, everything is just adding up, one thing after another. An all too perfect storm. You gotta, you get tongue-tied thinking about what's the chances of all this just being a coincidence. There are no coincidences. Mexico accounts for 83% of the U.S. annual supply of Hass avocados. And so that's just, one more thing to add on. Okay, there, check off the chickens, check off the avocados. Sorry, guys. How about the coffee, which I'm sipping some black coffee right now? Yes. Rabobank warns coffee prices may soar out of control as stockpiles plunge. Yep, I've been doing this 30 years. I've never seen markets like this. So says a gentleman who is Goldman's head commodity strategist and one of the closest followed analysts on Wall Street. He said that to Bloomberg TV. This is a molecule crisis. We're out of everything. I don't care if it's oil, gas, coal, copper, aluminum, you name it, we're out of it. That leaves us with one particular commodity that most Americans use daily. And it's not crude products such as gas and diesel, but in fact coffee. 150 million daily drinkers might be subjected to prices that may soar out of control. Well, yeah, I mean, personally, like when I went last, I think I stocked up with maybe 12 bags. I try to keep a good stock of coffee because it does have other benefits for you. Most definitely, it's kickstarts you in the morning, but there are health benefits too, as long as you don't abuse it.
That's really important, Keith. Don't abuse it.
But the one thing I would say is you must make sure you have organic coffee.
Yes.
Because they spray DDT on the inorganic, and it's one of the worst things that you could take into your body. So if you're drinking coffee and you don't know it's organic, I would just dump it out.
Right.
I would not drink it.
Yeah, it'd be safer dumping it out for sure.
And, I've been able to get, they keep making the bags smaller. I think they're down to 10 ounces now. They used to be 16, then they were 12, now they're 10. But still, I did get a deal where they were, I want to say about $4 something a bag, which is pretty cheap, relatively. And we have 87%. This is out of Newsweek, and it's talking all about the supply chain problems that we have going on. And when we speak to our good buddy David Devine, DAP 2030, he's really somber and serious when it comes to this. And he's been taking the time to make sure he's got all his ducks in a row, so to speak. 87% of people say they have been negatively impacted by supply chain issues, 60% unable to buy items due to shortages, 51% canceling orders because of delays, and it's kind of across the board. 40% of the world's furniture is made in China. It's interesting how things change. I know, like guitars, there was a ton made in China. Now Indonesia is making a lot of them, and they're actually pretty good quality coming out of Indonesia. But again, when you look to what's out there and what's on the horizon, even if things were all of a sudden going to, the sun was going to start to rise and everything was going to start to get better, we still have, it take a long time to recover.
Well, there's that backlog. And even when there was that ice storm in Texas, I think there was a backlog of mail that took weeks and weeks, if not a couple months, to get caught up with.
Yeah. I did see a comment where they were saying, you guys got to focus on something good, like Elon Musk giving $6 billion to charity. When you look at the portion of what he takes in and you look at his greater purpose, which we remote viewed, it's not good. No. It's not good. No. I mean, of course, they could always do token things. Yeah, but when you're talking about the ultimate, what's their ultimate goal? And again, when you look at these powers that be, it's all about a merger with the Borg. It's all about that hybridization and DNA change with humanity. And he's very aware who he's working for. He's no savior. Just like with Gesara and Nasara, look deeper into it. It's all part of the financial reset. And again, you're going to have to go along with certain things. Just look to, Canada, what's happening up there. Yeah, we've got some information on Canada, and again, we've spoken about this. The fact that yes, there's definitely what we would call extraterrestrials. There's what we would call interdimensional beings as well. The technology is so far advanced it would boggle the mind. And when we look at what was going on in NAZI Germany and how they were building saucers, we know it's declassified. It's right out there. And then we saw the Battle of LA and we saw the flyover of DC. And we know they had New Schwabenland down in Antarctica. They had a base that was very advanced down there in Antarctica. Same Antarctica that all the top leadership of the world going back about 4 years ago went down there. 5 years ago now. It's 4 or 5 years ago. I'm trying to remember when it was. Time is flying. And, they went down there to meet with these beings that are not Homo sapiens sapiens. And of course, this planet has been under the control of dark entities that basically have humanity, for the most part, policing itself as long as it stays within the confines of what they want. So when you look at the bigger picture here, any of these guys at the top, they're not really benevolent.
No, they're not. And it's really important to understand our thoughts and what goes through our own mind, and understanding where is that coming from? Where are my thoughts coming from? Because they come from the outside of us. And I've heard of people say, well, this thought went through my head and I know it wasn't mine because it's not something that I would do. And I think that's what we're looking at moving forward, is to really have a deep understanding of ourselves, because some of these frequency weapons create thoughts and forms and patterns inside of us that might not be characteristic of who we are.
And it's all been declassified.
Yep.
I mean, it's right out there. You just got to type in there and you'll find stuff. We know we really don't need fossil fuels. That's just part of the control grid. There's so many things that have been declassified, and yet they still get wiki stickers.
Yeah.
Which, it's just so obvious. It's so obvious, and more people are waking up to that all the time, just how obvious it is. Of course, we also know we have our disinfo people that are constantly popping in, trying to control the narrative. So when you see one just chirping out, you got to wonder, okay, who are they really working for? Who are they really working for? There's a big hot topic there in regards to some hacking that went on. Who were the hackers really working for? Well, when the hackers really work for the powers that be and are working for alphabet soups, then ooh, okay, yeah, it's not what we were brought up thinking at all. And over here we see a morgue operating in Baltimore, parking garage. 200 bodies are awaiting autopsy. They cannot keep up with the bodies. This tells you there's something wrong in the system. There's something seriously wrong here. And this is again part of the bigger picture. As we've seen, the life insurance companies, a lot of them are going to be going broke. They're not going to be able to keep up with the payouts. Pretty soon they won't be able to keep issuing affordable premiums, let's say.
No, they won't. And they're going to start putting attachments, if you want to get some sort of health care or if you want to do certain things, there's going to have to be certain things are met before you really get any help moving forward.
Absolutely. And, to get back to that original thought, why did I bring up NAZI Germany? Because the same beings that were doing what they were doing behind the scenes then are at play now. It's the same beings. And just look to Operation Paperclip. What happened? Well, at the end of the war, many of the top scientists came here. They were pretty much divvied up between the U.S. and Russia. And some rose to big, big heights. Actually, up at the top of Never a Straight Answer, for instance. Very influential. They got contacts. They got off-world contacts.
Right. So, any information that we're getting from the media needs to be questioned heavily and weighed in your heart. Where is this coming from? And we have to take care of ourselves. There is nobody galloping to the rescue. We have to prepare ourselves.
Well, it says it right there in the Hopi's prophecy, because it says we are the ones who are waiting for warriors of the rainbow, which means awakened ones from every single race, creed, nationality. It's not going to be any one dogma. It's not going to be any one race, creed, any one belief set, except for a belief set that's just based on simple premise of love and compassion. That's it. Ultimately, if Source, God with the big G, is love, then there should be a lot of compassion in the world, and it wouldn't be a vengeful one. That just goes, it's another thing that's just painfully obvious.
If one were to put compassion in the forefront of their lives and make that a priority, this world would be a much different place. And I think that's something anybody could focus on. You prioritize compassion and then operate through that.
97, I saw a survey, 97% of people view what's going on in Canada right now basically in the light that we would view NAZI Germany in right now, not necessarily when it was happening. I think it is even more evident right now for people in Canada as to what's happening than it was perhaps even people in Germany when it was happening. And that's very sobering. So again, the Hopi prophecy says that we are the ones we are waiting for. As long as we're waiting for somebody else to come and save us. Don't worry. They're blasting down there. They're pushing those reptilians back right now. No, they're not yet. No, and this is a battle that humanity's got to win. It's a consciousness battle.
And as soon as we can speak freely without having to be so cryptic, then we know we're getting somewhere. But right now we're at where we're at because there's suppression.
Mm-hmm. So keep putting out your positive intentions. Keep waking up people as much as possible. Keep sharing the videos everywhere. Make sure you are subscribed to both channels as always. And, keep doing what you're doing. We're fighting the good fight.
Absolutely.
Much love. God bless. Namaste.
Namaste.